Hello everyone, welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Maze Runner, Chapter 19. Now, this chapter is pretty short, so let's just hit it pretty fast. It starts with the Griever coming into the lane that Thomas, and Albie are in, and so they're on the wall, covered in the vines, wrapped up in the vines. And when Thomas sees the Griever, he is horrified. Oh, this just sense of terror fills his body, fills his mind, and he has to use every piece of power and control to keep himself from screaming or trying to run or anything. And so he's sitting there and he's just looking at this Griever. And this is the first time that we can really see what the Griever is like. And it's really weird, the description of it. It's like a ball of goo, and then it has like arms that come out and needles that poke out, but then they all go back in, and it rolls, and then they all come out, and they go back in, and then it rolls again. So remember in the last chapter, we were wondering, how long does it take for this Griever to move? Because Thomas is like planning and tying vines, and we're just like, where is the Griever? It's been like 3 hours. Well, this is why. I guess they move very slowly when they want. I don't know. But as Thomas is looking at this, he's incredibly horrified. It has this sound when it rolls, but then when it stops, it has this kind of moaning that sounds like just dead people, like zombies moaning. Wow, that's pretty freaky. And it's really hard for Thomas to just watch this thing. So he's watching it for seconds, minutes, maybe an hour, and it's rolling down the pathway. It goes to the door, and then it goes right underneath where Thomas and Albie are. And then at that point, this is where it's kind of hunting. It's going around, and Thomas is hoping, please don't see us, please don't see us. But he really thinks that the beetle blade probably already told the Griever his location. So he's not feeling that confident that the Griever will leave him alone, but he's just hoping and praying until finally the Griever goes right underneath him, turns off all its lights, and he's just sitting there. And Thomas can't see anything. He can't hear anything. And then suddenly, it starts to climb the wall. Oh man, I'm really curious what's going to happen here. Well, sparsely is the first vocabulary word, and that means not very often or not very much. To give you a really embarrassing example, if you look at the top of my head here, it is covered sparsely with hair. My chin, my face, you can say like that's thickly covered. There's a lot of hair close together, but sparsely there's distance between a lot of things. If you imagine a desert, maybe there are trees sparsely in the desert, laid out sparsely in the desert. There's not very many, they're not very close, they're very far apart. And so the Griever, it has hair on its like gel or whatever, but it's not really that much. It's just a little bit. Looking at like hair, if you imagine a young boy, starting to change into a man, and he starts to get hairs on his face, it sparsely covers his face. And then when he gets older, it gets thicker and fuller. So that's sparsely. Grotesque, I believe we had this vocabulary word before, but I just wanted to make sure. Grotesque is very, very ugly and disgusting and horrifying. Okay? Grotesquely is the way that it does something. So it moves grotesquely, right? Moves, and the way it moves is like, oh, that is gross. That is grotesque. Discussion question. What would you do once you saw the griever climbing the wall? All right. Imagine you're 30 feet in the air, tied to these vines. Albie's right next to you. And then there's a griever climbing this wall right below you. What would you do? Whew. Oh man, I can think of a few things I would do. Of course, please write your own discussion question. It's a pretty short chapter, but I'm sure there's at least one thing you can think about or reflect on that you can post in the comments. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.